How did Shepard Fairey become one of your mentors? That's wild. I had no idea about that.
Well, Shepard and I have had crossed paths over the years. We had a mutual friend. The first time that I met him in person, we have a mutual friend. His name is Richard Eduardo, who's pretty much like the Andy Warhol on the West Coast. He's a master screen printer, and he did a lot of screen printing for Shepard, Banksy. I mean like really big heavy hitters, Retina, all those dudes from like the start of the street art movement. And he's an OG, like he's in history books. And he was working with my dad since I was a kid. And when he passed away in like 2000, I think like 2013, 2014, I met Shepard at his funeral, like formally. I'd always been, the
Oh,
Shepard was one of my idols as a kid growing up, but I met him formally at the funeral briefly. And then like we would just cross paths more and more. Like if he was painting a mural and I happened to be passing by, if, his team was like putting up, something and, and I just happened to pass by. And then it wasn't up until I was in a group show in 2018 where I was exhibiting a portrait I did of Bob Marley in pencil. This was an old portrait that I did. I was already painting, but it was a benefit for one of my really close friends, um, Abby Berman. She has a art foundation called Adopt the Arts, and they help raise money for like art programs in elementary schools and stuff. And Shepard is on the board of the members on that. And the show was a benefit for that. Like some of the proceeds went to the foundation. So when I was exhibiting there, it was my first time exhibiting with Shepard side by side, and he came up to me and was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, um, his wife's name's Amanda." He goes, "Amanda and I loved your portrait so much that we bought it." And I was like in disbelief. I was like, "You what?" He was like, "We bought it." And I was like, "What do you mean you bought it?" And he was like we bought it. Like, I don't understand what you don't understand. And I was like, I almost started crying right there because I was like, dude, one of my idols just collected one of my works. I was like, it felt like I felt like Basquiat when Warhol bought one of his like postcards. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, that's crazy. I was like, why? You know what I'm saying? And he was just like, and he explained to me too. He was like, he pulled me aside and he goes, I was never really a fan of pencil work, especially like realism, because he's like a graphic artist. Like his stuff is beyond like his whole process is crazy. It's so
yeah.
unique. So he's like beyond the traditional like making of art, even though that like that's like the foundation. But he was like your work stands out so much. And the here, I'll even show you the portrait that I did, because he told me that it reminded him of when this is the portrait that he did.
Oh, wow.
So he told me that it reminded him of the first time that someone tried like ripping off one of his posters, and then he took a photograph of that and then reposted that as a new poster. And it was kind of like, oh, Andre the Giant is still here in a new form. It's like, you can't tear me down. You can't like take me away. Like I'm back in a new form.